Punch cards. Everything on this screen does one job: remember your data. So why does the first cost $1 and the last over $5,000? That gap is the whole story. Start at the cheap end, that $1 card. Before disks, before chips, computers stored data on paper, stiff cards covered in punched holes, each holding about 80 characters, less than a third of a tweet. To run a program, you carried a shoebox of these into a room-sized machine and fed them through a reader, a few hundred cards a minute. And it was serious work. The math that landed Apollo astronauts on the moon was punched into cards just like these. Here's the frame for the whole ladder. Climbing a tier almost never means better. It means faster, safer, or bigger, and you pay for the one you actually need. Drop that shoebox once, though, and your program becomes a 1,000-piece puzzle with no picture on the box to guide you. USB flash drives. Jump forward 50 years, and the whole shoebox fits on your keychain for about $10. Inside this stick is NAND flash memory, the same basic stuff that's in a real SSD, wired to a cheap controller and a slow connection. The first ones arrived around 2000, holding 8 megabytes. Today, that same $10 buys one with a full terabyte on it. It quietly killed the floppy disk and the burned CD. Moving a file became as simple as dragging it onto a stick. The trade-off is speed and trust. A cheap drive crawls at 20 to 40 megabytes a second, the flash cells wear out, and the whole thing is small enough to vanish into a couch forever. Great for carrying files, a terrible home for your only copy. Micro SD cards. Next step up, about $30. The smallest storage you can hold, smaller than a fingernail, and one of the slowest you can buy. It's flash memory again, squeezed onto a chip with a basic interface. A normal card reads at 40 to 100 megabytes a second. A fast one touches 250 at best. That $30 gets you 256 gigabytes that slips into a phone, a drone, a Switch, or a Raspberry Pi. Here's what people often find out too late. These cards only survive a limited number of writes, so anything recording non-stop, like a dash cam, can wear one out inside a year. And there's a quieter danger. Leave one unpowered for a few years and it can silently forget what's on it. Tiny and cheap, right up until it's the only thing holding your photos. Hard drives. Now the first tier actually built to live inside your computer, and the first big jump in price to around $100. A hard drive is a truly mechanical device. Metal platters spinning 5,400 or 7,200 times a minute, while a tiny arm glides ahead just above them to find your data. IBM built the first one in 1956. It weighed more than a ton and stored just 5 megabytes. A modern one reads at 80 to 250 megabytes a second, and that $100 now buys several terabytes. Nothing else gives you this much room this cheaply. One thing to check before you buy: some budget drives use a style called SMR that overlaps its tracks to fit more in, then slow to a crawl during big copies. Slow and a little loud, but for the money, still unbeatable. SATA SSDs. Quick question: which of these are you actually using right now? Drop it in the comments. And if this is finally making storage make sense, hit like. It really helps the channel. Around $150, and this is the upgrade that makes an old computer feel new again. Swap the spinning platters for flash chips, and everything that used to feel slow just happens. No moving parts, no noise. Booting Windows drops from around 40 seconds to under 15, and programs that took half a minute open in 2 or 3. The odd part is the limit. These stop near 550 megabytes a second, and it isn't the chips. It's the SATA cable, a connection designed for hard drives years earlier. The flash is desperate to go faster. The cable simply won't let it. For that price, still the cheapest way to bring a tired laptop back to life. NVMe SSDs. Double the money, about $300, and we throw the old cable away completely. Instead of a SATA cord, this thin strip of plastic barely longer than your thumb plugs straight into the motherboard's PCIe lanes, the same fast lanes your graphics card runs on. A current Gen 4 drive reads between 5,000 and 7,400 megabytes a second, roughly 10 times a SATA SSD, and boots Windows in about 5. Beyond just showing off, this is what lets a PS5 or Xbox Series X pull a game world straight off the drive as you move, turning minute-long loading screens into a couple of seconds. The buying trap is what they leave out. Cheaper drives quietly drop the DRAM cache and use QLC memory that packs in more data but slows down badly during big writes, sometimes crashing below hard drive speeds once that fast buffer fills. The good ones, like the $300 Samsung, keep both. Same slot, completely different experience. The NAS. At $500, this one isn't a drive at all. It's a small, always-on box that holds several drives at once. Picture your own private cloud sitting in a cupboard. 4 hard drives go inside, it plugs into your router, and every phone and laptop in the house can reach it. Your own Netflix, your own Google Drive, no monthly bill. The clever part is RAID. Set the drives up right and one can physically die without taking a single file with it. And you just slide in a fresh drive to rebuild. Once it's running, your photos and backups stop living on one gadget you could drop or lose. And that $500 is just the start. The box arrives empty. Drives cost extra, and RAID protects you from one failed drive, not from a house fire or a file you delete by mistake. It keeps you running. It is not a backup. Tape. And the top of the ladder, $5,000 and up, guards the world's most important data, using the oldest technology on this list. It's a ribbon of magnetic plastic on a reel, the same idea as a cassette. A single modern LTO9 cartridge holds 18 terabytes and survives 30 years on a shelf with no power. The limit that never went away. Tape runs strictly in order, so to reach the end, it has to spool past everything in front of it. No jumping around, which is exactly why banks and studios still trust it for their vaults. So why would anyone pay that much? Per terabyte, it's the cheapest storage on Earth.